Okay, Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. ثم ما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So Surah Fatihah, again, just to remind ourselves, what did we started Surah Fatihah. So we've been doing Surah Fatihah for a number of weeks, and we're going through. So we started from Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. All possible praise and thanks are for Allah, who's the master of all the people. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, He's the extremely loving and caring, the always loving and caring. Malik Yawmiddin, He's the owner of the day of judgment. Yeah, that I get what I deserve. Spoke in detail about the day of judgment. So these are all. So this is all describing who Allah Subhanahu wa Taala is. Who is Allah Subhanahu wa Taala? You learned this, isn't it? The qualities of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. And the next half is, what action do you do? So what action do you do, knowing all this? إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. You alone we worship, and you alone we ask for help. And we talked about this as well, that we have to make the effort. We have to worship Allah Subhanahu wa Taala like He's told us to worship Him alone, and to Him we ask for help. So you make the effort, then He'll help you. You can't sit back and relax and say, "Oh, let's see. Please, can the help of Allah come down? Help me." No, you make the effort, and the help, the assistance of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala for all the small tasks. You know, we mentioned this. We need His help and assistance for all the small tasks every single day. So we mentioned this, and we after this we said, okay, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. You alone we worship, you alone we ask for help. What's the main thing we ask for? So do you remember? You remember? Good, yeah. So what's the main thing we ask for?
Guidance.
Yeah, so we
To a
ask.
straight path.
Yes, so actually good. Okay, so the main thing we ask for, we said that you can ask Allah Subhanahu wa Taala for a lot of things. You know, health, success at school, work, business, firmness in worship. You can ask so many things. But what is the most important thing that I should ask Allah Subhanahu wa Taala for?
Guidance.
So what should I ask Him for?
For help.
And yes,
for help and assistance.
So we ask Him for assistance, but the most important thing that Allah Subhanahu wa Taala says that we should ask Him is for guidance, right? And this is the next ayah. We moved on to the next ayah. We said, "Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim." So we ask Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, show us Ihdina Sirat, the path which is mustaqim, upwards. So this is how we will translate this, because you know, like we said, the other translations you may have seen, where translation mentions guide us to the straight path. But we'll see the different meanings here of sirat, and you will notice that straight is one of the meanings, and you'll understand what are the different meanings of the path, the sirat al-mustaqim, and it's be interesting when you see this. So, are we all happy so far? Where we are, and are we all following? Are we all happy? That this is where we've talked about for a number of weeks of the Fatihah, and we're continuing, inshallah. So I hope we are all following and we are understanding. So that's good. Jazakallah khairan. So we said, Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim. So show us the upwards path. This is the main thing we ask Allah Subhanahu wa Taala for, and this is one of the main reasons why we stand in prayer, right? We stand in prayer, and in the Fatihah, we, because whenever you stand in the prayer, each one of us have got some sort of maybe some problem or some sort of task we need to do or some sort of issue. Everyone has something that they need some help with, that they need to ask Allah Subhanahu wa Taala for assistance and help. But the main thing that how we can get the help is if Allah Subhanahu wa Taala guides us. So Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, He shows us the path to Jannah. So what that means is, whatever task you're doing, and whatever problem you have, whatever issue you have, you need Allah Subhanahu wa Taala to show you how to best handle that problem or how to best do that task. Do it in the best way that you can get the most reward. So that's what guidance is. That you need Allah Subhanahu wa Taala to show you, to show you like how you get to the, how can you get to Jannah by making the right decisions in our life. So this is the main thing. This is what guidance is. So once we understand this, we're going to go in, like I said, a bit more deeper. Like, what does it mean? Sirat al-Mustaqim. What are different meanings? So show us the upwards path. So if you just bear that in mind, this is the main thing we ask Allah Subhanahu wa Taala for. We ask Allah Subhanahu wa Taala to show us, to guide us. So it's very important that we are in need, and we ask Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. Who do you ask when you're in need of something? The first one, initially the only one we should be asking is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because He's our creator. He's the one that can solve all our problems. But this is what we do. We say, ihdina, show us. So just imagine, for example, that you've got your hand stretched out in the air, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is holding your hand. Holding your hand, He's showing you, He's guiding you what is the best way to walk through, the different tasks you're doing, the different issues. What's the best way to solve your problems? This is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Guidance is from Him. So this is what we ask, like at least 17 times every single day in the Surah Fatihah. We ask Him to show us the path, show us this path, this this upwards path, this path that leads to Jannah, to guide us in the best way. So like you said, just imagine that your hand is stretched out. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is holding your hand and He's showing you the way. So, who else do you need? If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with you, if He is your close friend, because we know one of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Wali, He's like, He's your protector, your protecting friend. If He is your friend, the one that created the skies, He created the earth, He created, every single thing, He created the universe, everything, all the foods you eat, the fruits you eat, He gave you everything. He's on your side. Then who else do you need? You are like, you're safe, isn't it? Because I've got Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on my side. So literally, we need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if He guides us, we don't need to worry. That means He is on our side. And the thing is, we keep on asking for guidance, right? We keep on saying, Ihdina Siratul Mustaqim, Ihdina Siratul Mustaqim, all the time. Why? Because it's not guaranteed that you are going to be on guidance. Like, it's not guaranteed that we are going to remain as proper Muslims in our life. Like, because we make mistakes, we do sins. It's very easy to go off the path, to go off this path to Jannah, to go off the straight path. So the only way we can keep on this path is if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He keeps us on the path. He helps us. He guides us. It's very important that's why we're in need of Him so much. That we see people, some people, a lot of people are you see there might be non-Muslims. There's a lot of people who don't believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we think, these people, why don't they believe in Allah? Like, the signs are so clear. The signs are so clear. Like, look at ourselves, look at the food, look at the sky, look at the moon, look at the sun. It's so clear. I mean, why can't people believe in Allah? But these people say, no, we don't believe in a God. We don't believe that God exists. Everything happened by chance. The sun, the moon, it came by chance. We don't need a God. We're just here by ourselves. These people, you think, how can you be like this? Well, one of the reasons is they don't have guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They don't have guidance from Allah. So,
Just say 1 second.
so they don't have guidance from Allah. If Allah guides these people, because to be guided, you need to be sincere. Like, you need to be genuine. Like, you need in your heart, you need to really you need to want to find the truth. Like, I need to know what the truth is. Some people, they're looking for, who's the creator. We need to know who the creator is. If you are really, really looking for Him sincerely in your heart, I really need to know who, why am I here? These basic questions. Why am I here? Who made me? What's my purpose in life? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will guide this person to the truth.
Why do you have to know those questions?
Because He will guide you. Because if a person really, he's looking for the truth, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not leave that person alone. He will definitely show that person Islam. He'll show him the truth. He'll show him that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does exist. If a person is so proud, he's so arrogant, he's like, I don't need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I could do whatever I want. I don't need to know the truth. He goes around the earth like he's proud, he's arrogant, he's like, he's not in need of anybody. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not guide that person because he's not sincere. So this is very important. This is how we get the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if we are sincere. So we have to be have this thing where you have to be sincere. You have to really want to find the truth, and that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will guide somebody. So many people are not guided because they don't want to find the truth. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't guide them. So that's just something that thought we'd mention. So is that clear so far? Like, guidance and how important guidance is, and we need to really, we need we need to be sincere. Like we need to really want to find the truth. We don't want to be arrogant, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will guide a person if they are truthful and they're sincere. If they really want to find the truth, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will guide that person. So is that concept clear so far? What we're talking about, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he um he'll guide a person who's sincere and truthful. So inshallah, I hope that's clear, and we'll just move on. Okay. Jazakallah khair. And so this is, we have to, the thing is, so this is why, every time you ask for guidance, think in your mind, this is like a gold treasure, because it's not something that you come into your prayer and you're in your Fatihah and you just you're just saying it, you don't know what it means, and we have to be really, really in need. We need to ask him each time, because it's like a gold treasure. We need this guidance to be successful. Otherwise, if we don't have guidance in our life, we will be failure, and we will be like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, people that didn't have guidance, they're like cows. They're like cows, they're like cattle.
Yeah,
Or they're even worse than cattle, because they're just walking around like blind and they don't know what the truth is. So guidance is so important for us to be successful. It's basically, think of it this way: without guidance, your heart is dead, right? You need to have guidance for your heart to be alive. That's how important guidance is. It's like the life and death of our ruh, our soul. That's guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. So asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for guidance is the main purpose of the surah, right? This is what we said. This is what you need the most. So you don't need, obviously you need food. You have like drinks. You have, you have sandwiches. You eat your food. That's for your body. But for your ruh, for your soul, guidance is what your soul needs. Otherwise, your soul is going to be lost, and the person is going to do all sorts of crazy things if they don't have guidance. And you see this, you may see like on TV, you may see like some people who are like, I don't know, celebrities, or people you think are rich, or people who have money, and they do really, really crazy things. Some people, like, they kill themselves, they commit suicide, they do like they have money but they're not happy, and they're living miserable, sad lives. They like have so many issues. That's because they don't have guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And guidance, it helps you deal with everything in your life. It gives you like a peaceful heart. So what's a sign of guidance? What's a sign that you have guidance? Does anybody know? A sign? What can that be?
Your heart is soft.
Yeah, your heart becomes soft when you hear the Qur'an. So this is also a sign, like, when the Qur'an is recited, you should have like a feeling of softness. Yeah, it's like, I want to hear the Qur'an. So we need to get used to, listening, bring the Qur'an into our lives, listening to the Qur'an and the word of our Creator. Right? This is what we're going through. The Fatihah. This is the word of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. So the word of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala should make our hearts soft, and we should really want to know, what does the Quran mean, and this is a sign that a person is being guided, because they're really the heart is being softened. They want to listen to the Quran. And the important thing here, memorize more and more surahs of the Quran. This is one of the steps to get to guidance. Okay, so you might think, okay, you might think, what's a way that you can be guided? Like, give me one way. Give me, like, something. How can I be guided? How can I increase? How can I be guided further and further towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Well, one of the ways is memorize more and more Quran. Memorize more surahs, step by step, ayah by ayah, slowly, slowly. The more you memorize, the more you are complete. You memorize and you have to recite. The more you are having a daily connection with the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're memorizing, you're learning the Quran, and this is a sign, a step that you're going to get guidance. You're going to be closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this answers my question, because we said, what do I need to ask for the most, right? When we said Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in, you learn, we worship, you learn, we ask for help. But what do you need to ask for the most? This answers my question, because guidance is what my Creator wants me to ask. He wants me to ask for guidance. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Show us, guide us, the path which is upwards, which goes straight to Jannah. So now I know the main thing to ask for. So I know that, I know I learned before who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was. I learned who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was in the first half of the Fatihah. Now I'm going to do action. I'm going to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm going to ask Him for help. I'm going to ask Him for guidance. This is what I need the most. This is what Allah wants me to ask Him. Yep, so this is what we said. We need to ask Him for guidance to keep us firm on Iman. Because there's no guarantee how we're going to end up. Because one of the most important things for a person is, the most important deeds of a person, what are they? The most important deeds of a person are the last deeds they do. For example, so suppose a person is towards the end of their life. Maybe they're about to die. A person is towards the end of their life. The most important deeds are what they do towards, the end, like towards that time. But we don't know how we're going to end up, right? So we need to make sure that we keep asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because no one knows how long they're going to live. And the most important deeds are what we do towards the end of our time. So we don't know tomorrow, for example, are we still going to be on guidance? Is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala still going to guide us? So that's why we need to ask Him. We need to ask Him over and over again to guide us, to show us the straight path. Like we said, we can't get guidance. We can't remain Muslims. We can't remain Muslims just by ourselves. We need the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make sure that we are on guidance. Okay. So we said we're going to talk about the meaning here. So what's this? What does this mean? What does this mean then? Ihdina, show us. As-Sirat. So the Sirat, what does Sirat mean? Sirat means path. Okay, so we say, okay, show us the path. But what are the different meanings of path? And it's very interesting. If we just think about this, we said we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, show us, ihdina, guide us to the Sirat. Sirat means path. Okay, so what are some of the meanings of Sirat, the path? It's wide. So this path that we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for, show us the path, this path is really wide. You know what that means? What does that mean if this path is so wide? Yeah, it's room for everyone. So that means all the Muslims can go on this path. It's not like this path is so small that only one person can go on the straight path to Jannah. No, this path is so big. One of the meanings of Sirat is wide. It means there's room for everyone. So you, your family, your brothers, your sisters, all the people.
Yes, everyone in the world.
Yeah, all the Muslims can go on this path. In fact, every single person on earth can go on this path, even non-Muslims. If they want to be guided, if they want to find the truth, this path is so wide, the Sirat is so wide and big, that this path to Jannah, that everyone can go on this path. So this gives you hope, right? Yes, that means there's hope for everybody, that you can all go on this path, because this path is wide. There's room for everyone. What else? This path is, okay, do you have a question?
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second.
Zainab has a question.
Okay, what's your question, Zainab? Okay, so the question was why do bad people go
to learn about guidance?
Why do bad people go to Jannah? Well, you have to be good to go to Jannah. So maybe there'll be some Muslims who did a lot of sins, and first they're going to go to hellfire. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all. And once they're purified of their sins, then they'll enter Jannah afterwards. And then when they enter Jannah, eventually anybody who said La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, we know that everybody,
In hellfire.
yeah, they'll be taken out of hellfire. Every single person who said that will be taken out. So, okay, quickly, yeah, one more question. Okay, yeah, go on. Okay. So
I know. So basically, it was going to be another test for them. They like Allah said to them to jump in hellfire. Like if Allah told them to jump in hellfire, and then if they jump in hellfire, it's going to be actually Jannah. It's not going to be hellfire.
okay, okay. So I think so the question was what happens if someone is good but they're not Muslims, what happens to them? So what we understand is if that person it's all about if they know what the truth is, and do they follow the truth or not. So if they know what the truth is but they don't follow the truth, even if they're good, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says the only way that you'll be going to go to Jannah is if you believe in Allah, you believe in Prophet ﷺ, you believe in the Akhirah, you become Muslim. So even if someone is not good, even if they're good, they still will not go to Jannah unless they are Muslims, unless they believe in Allah, believe in Prophet ﷺ. So if they are if they genuinely they don't know about Islam because no one told them, then yes, there'll be a separate test for them on the day of judgment. But so that's inshallah we just carry on. I'll take a few questions maybe in a few minutes, but let's just complete some of the meanings of Sirat. So another meaning of Sirat is what you said is room for everyone. It's wide. Another thing is straight. Sirat means straight. So that's why that's why we translated it. Show us the Sirat, the path, which is al-mustaqim. We didn't translate it as show us the straight path because Sirat means straight. So literally the path means straight. So that's why we're not going to translate show us the straight path. Because Sirat means, one of the meanings of Sirat is straight as well. So it comes in the meaning. So it also means straight. So what does that mean? If something is straight, it means it's very clear, right? It's a very clear direction. So if you if there's any other questions, you can just type it in chat while we're talking. But otherwise, we'll just take a few more questions a bit later on. So the path is straight. That means it's very clear. Like it's not like anything is unknown. The Qur'an, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us from the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it is all very clear, right? It's all very clear. Like there's no confusion. So that's one of the benefits of understanding that this path is straight, because there's clear direction. Okay, so there's clear direction. There's a straight path. So that means if the path was like bendy and curvy and twisty, it's like, well, we don't know. We can't see the goal because we can't see the end of the path. And if it's straight, just imagine it's very clear. It's very easy. If you follow what Allah is saying, Prophet saying, getting guidance is very easy. It's a straight path. What else? Straight. What else does Sirat mean? Shortest. It is the shortest path. So what's the shortest distance between 2 points? Does anybody know? Like in maths, you may do this. You may do this in maths. You may do this in subjects or What's the straightest distance between 2 points? Like if you have a square, anything, any shape. What's the shortest distance between 2 points? Does anybody know? So the shortest distance is a straight line. Yeah. So one of the points is Sirat means path. It means wide. It's straight. If it's straight, it's also the shortest path. So this is the shortest path to success. So okay, so okay for that. So yeah, so 1 second, Mahad, we'll just answer your question. But this path is also the shortest path to success. If we follow this, if we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us, this will be like going to be the shortest path to get to Jannah if we follow it correctly. Okay, so the question is, Mahad, I think, doesn't everybody hear or see the Quran in their life? So there's some people, for example, that maybe they, for some reason, they don't know anything about Islam or about the Quran because their parents have told them otherwise, and maybe they die in that state. They had no knowledge that that the truth exists, even though we said that every person from inside them has like a fitra that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is one creator. So they can, if they're sincere and genuine, they can find the truth. But someone might not be. Someone may not be able to find the truth. They may not know. So for that person, there'll be a separate test on the day of judgment. So that's what we understand, that there might be some people who don't know about the truth of Islam. Okay, so yeah. So hopefully that answers the question. But so we said some of the meanings of Sirat. So a path, it means it's very wide. It's room for everyone. It's straight. It's the shortest distance to success. It's very short. What else? It's not always the easiest. Okay, so one of the meanings of Sirat is, one of the things is, it's not always the easiest path. It's going to be lots of trials. You're going to have tests. You're going to have challenges. Like it's not free to go to Jannah, right? I mean, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says He will test you. He definitely will test you. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will test us. We are going to, and that's one of the reasons why. That's why He created us, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, He created life and death so He could test us. So the only reason why we are alive, me and you, is because we're being tested. So this is, why we're alive, right? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to test us. He wants to test us how? he tests you with the people around you, right? So he tests you with your family, with your siblings, your brothers and sisters, with your parents, with your, with your family members. He tests you. He put you in a situation where he decided, okay, um, this soul is for this person. So when you were born, you're born into a family. So your test started straight away. So your life is a test. That's all it is. So obviously, if it's a test, you're going to have challenges. You're going to have trials, and a test that one person faces, it might not be the same as somebody else's test. So you shouldn't look at other people and say, look at that person. They do some things this way, why don't you do things this way? Or why can't I be like this? Or, don't compare yourself to other people, because other people have different tests. You have different tests. So everyone's life is different. Everyone's surroundings are different, and you have your own tests according to how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what He gave you. He gave you skills. He gave you knowledge. He made you good at one thing. He made somebody else not so good at another thing. So according to, that's why everybody's different. You have different skills. You have different tests. But at the end of the day, all of you can pass your tests, and all of you can get the best marks. But you just have different tests. It's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala works, right? Some people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tested them with being hungry. Some people don't have parents. Some people are hungry. Some people have money. Some people are poor. Some people are finding it difficult because they're living somewhere where there's wars. So everywhere there are tests. So this path is not always the easiest path. There's going to be trials and challenges. So inshallah, I think there's some things to think about. For Siratul Mustaqim, when we ask Allah Subhanahu wa Taala to show us a straight path. So we mentioned some of the meanings of Sirat, the path. It's very wide, it's straight, it's the shortest path to success, but it's not always the easiest, because our life is a test. We are going to be tested, so we need to be ready. And the more that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He loves us, He favors us, even the more difficulties we are going to face. That's true, that's possible, but we need to show patience, and we need to, show patience in our tests. So, inshallah, what we'll do, we'll stop there. So some points that we can go away, think about these points. So next time, inshallah, we'll talk about this further, some of the meanings of Sirat. We'll take any more questions, but other than that, I hope we are all we all benefiting, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us all. May He allow us to may He guide us all, and may He show us the straight path to Jannah. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.